Um, and to what do I owe the pleasure of this call, Mr. Goldman?
Well, I was returning your call that you.
Oh, you're getting around to that. Well, that turned out to be yet another troll. They're threatening to come to my door with hostility, but it's a troll. It's a skull fuck. They're just they're trying to get a rise out of me. Um, but I'm staying off the sites, both of them, as pretty much because I'm too busy with other things. But I do have to check in on the media of mine they're ripping off and mutilating because it gets spread around. This is where the criminal activity is going on, man. You're afraid of your reputation, and you're gonna be a hero because there's victims all over the country that this is happening to. You know, yeah, you can follow through on what Lieutenant Scott promised in the first place, that you'd look at what I brought you and determine whether it merited forwarding on to the FBI. And sir, I we agreed the last time that it did, but you told me I had to get it there myself. I want to see it. I want to see the results of your investigation, please. How do I get that? Okay, hold on a second. Let me get ready to write because I'm going to need some numbers out of you. Get the numbers, please, and call me back. Because I'm busy, I had to get off the phone with somebody to take this one. Right. Okay, so go on, ask me questions. I'm listening. I'm also recording, but I'm not broadcasting live. Next time I'm going to stream it live if I can. Yeah, well, have you seen we got buses in the alley rolling a joint, and I got the whole thing live. It's hysterical. We got busted in the alley there was a big thing going on at the 420 social. We couldn't smoke on the property. And we got popped in the alley by a bike cop. While, this guy was kneeling down rolling a joint, and the bike cop rolled up on him. And I had a camera and I lit it up and I took possession of the weed. And we got the whole thing on film. It's hilarious. Oh, yeah. I got to go to court on the pit. Oh, yeah. Oh, well, big deal. Well, that's going to be an issue in the trial because I can't afford it. And that's why I didn't have it. And even if I did, we would have been in violation because you're not allowed to do it in the public. Yeah, I know. Actually, it doesn't. It's no big. It costs a couple $100. You got to renew it all the time. And the dispensary pot's $10 a gram, and I got Primo Mexican. I get for $40 a half ounce. It puts a $10 gram to shame. It's a totally economic thing for me. And it's totally medical. And I got the even letter from the shrink saying, gender dysphoria with associated anxiety. The weed works for that, and I've got a prescription for hydroxyzine when I'm overamped. Yeah. I don't know. I need to talk to them about this so that I have a fresh letter to take to trial. That was one of the things I needed to do today. Oh, well, shit, man. I'm 62 years old. People with gender dysphoria that come from families that rejected it, in my generation, rarely made it past 35. Not only did I make it to 62, I managed to do it without hurting anybody worse than I needed to escape from it. And I got a real good relationship with the cops. Yeah, although not generally, very specifically. I mean, like, Lieutenant Doggett calls me out of crowds to say hello. The other night, that Saturday night, I'm down in the tunnel, and Sally Unwin comes up with somebody who was new to the downtown beat. And we're chatting, and while we're chatting, somebody grabbed $1 from my case right in front of her face. I've got that all on film, too. I'm living in training heaven, man. You know, but one for the fact that it's too damn hot for me to make a living here in the summer, and the plants hurt. Yeah. No, thank you. I mean, you're not. Your timing is. You know, I need. You know, there's when shit happens, I need to talk to somebody inside 15 minutes sometimes without calling 911. I appreciate that, Matthew. That's good because you know I'm like, did you hear from Lieutenant Doggett yet? Oh, okay. I didn't know that. I thought MHIST was separate. Oh, good, cool. Then you know that we talked about this. It needs to go to the FBI for anything to happen. I have good cause to believe that there's computer intrusion involved, and that's federal. The conspiracy and harassment are federal. And I've got victims all over the country with the same kinds of complaints, some of them from the same organizations. That's the nature of the internet, and what it comes down to is the maxim: don't feed the trolls. So really, I'm not. It's more of a tit for tat thing that's been going on for years, and I do the best I can to throttle it and avoid it. Well, that's what you're gonna get. Yeah, well, I've been waiting for somebody to actually say something like that to me so that I can shut them off completely. Right. Understood. I understand. How about this? Because I can't. I have to watch out for the. Because I have to keep up after the stolen media. Especially now that I'm getting more people in it than myself. Um, the I won't post any new threads from here on out. This is our working relationship. You know, now that I have a commitment from an actual law enforcement officer saying that he is actively investigating this, and this is the one impediment that me as the victim is putting out there. Okay, this is where we're getting on the same page here, boss. I can't totally avoid the site. I need to be watching out for stuff they're stealing. I need to be watching out for lies they're telling about me. I have something that I do. Are you familiar with .log files, .log notepad files? If you open your notepad and type out .log, L-O-G, and then hit the F5 button, it will date timestamp it. Every time you open that file, it's going to date timestamp it automatically from there on out. I have tons of these .log files marking threads where they've done illegal things to me, going back for years. And I'll limit my comments mostly to the reps and mostly just marking the posting as something that I think should not be allowed, and without any comment from here on out. Say again. You're fading out. Yeah, go ahead. Okay, how about this then? Then yeah, no, okay, I see what you're saying. I'll just grab the stuff and bring it back to Facebook. I'll just grab the really offensive stuff and I'll bring it back somewhere else and just build a file of it, and I'll just build a collection of it without saying anything. Yeah, I won't post it. I'll just bring it back. I'll just like maybe put it in build a cloud file or something for it somewhere so that we can both look at it.
I'll be honest with you. I'm pretty confident that you got actively engaging in and back and forth with all of these people, then they're probably going to find something out.
Well, I know what you're saying, and this has been going on since 1999. Somebody's being paid to dog me. It doesn't matter. Really, I'm serious. I'm being keylogged. I have evidence of that. This is what I keep saying. I've been trying to get some forensics person to come in here and look at it, and the best I can do is pay somebody $50. I cannot get any law enforcement people ever come and look at these hard drives and what's going on. I have evidence of intrusion. That's federal, and I can't get anybody to respond to it. And I only have $50 to have somebody go out and look at it themselves and give me a certification to take to a judge.
You're talking about like action.
Aye, aye, Skipper.
I'm just confirming, so I understand. I'm not a computer guy. So
Yeah, well, I'm not really a computer guy either, but I've had my hands inside the damn things for a long, long time.
yeah. So let's try that approach. Let's try to minimize and
No, not minimize, eliminate. It's like zero contact. I mean, no more contact. Just,
eliminate contact, but minimize your.
I'm not even going to announce to them that it's like done. I'm just going to just lurk and grab shit and put it in a cloud file for you to look at.
Perfect. So that means that if anything else that comes up, you can investigate as far as all of the online trolling and harassing and things like that. Those are relatively difficult for you to investigate, but I'm committed to looking at everything out.
I'm telling you that the knowledge that I can be deposed of and is sitting inside my computer merits of FBI investigation into organized cyberbullying all over the world.
Well, I can't make the FBI do anything.
I know you can't, but this was the arrangement with Lieutenant Scott at the very beginning, boss. Please. The idea was that if it got to the, if you look at it and it looked like it merited it, it would get forwarded on.
No, I think I understand what you're talking about. Unfortunately, I didn't have anything to do with it.
Well, I'll talk to Doggett about that.
I have no. I have to walk what I have.
I understand. I didn't know Doggett was your boss. I thought you were missing the lieutenant and Winsky was the boss. I'll just talk to Doggett. He said he'd put the screws to somebody a couple of days ago.
Well, he told me about your complication and he back and forth.
Okay, good. Then I'll get back to him and talk to him about our conversation now.
Okay, that's fine. You can do that. But I'm the one that's working it.
Yeah, but he's the one that's going to make the decision about talking to the FBI.
Okay, and I can definitely touch base with you about that. I haven't talked to you about that.
No, the only reason I've been confronting them the way I have is that I have not had a commitment from a lawyer or a law enforcement officer to actually back my play. And I got too much going on that's like brings me money or good karma.
No, I hear you, and I think that this stuff probably prevents you from being as successful.
No, don't even be. You can take that as a certainty. It's the only thing that really gets me down, wastes my time. And now that I've got a police officer committed to actually investigating it, I can just lurk, and it takes me just a couple of minutes to lurk them bird brains and grab the shit that they've said in the last 24, 48 hours or however long it's been since I've been there. And just grab it and copy it, and I'll just screen cap the shit and make a cloud file.
Great. Okay, well that sounds like a good plan. Um, so let me just make sure that we have a good understanding of other stuff. Now, if you have any concerns for your safety that are immediate, you can feel free to call 911.
Okay, well that's an issue. That's been an issue, is me calling the emergency dispatch over stuff like this.
Yeah, well, so
Well, there's been 3 falsified petitions behind that, man.
yeah, well, I'm not writing a petition on you right now. I'm not planning on doing that as of right now.
How about Linsky?
You know what? I don't think he is either. I think he's got bigger and better things to deal with. He's providing, our entire unit.
Right.
So he's got bigger and better.
So we're cool. We're cool. You understand that I'm totally nuts, but not a danger to anybody.
Yeah, I don't think you're a danger. We talked frankly about my concerns. I definitely have some concerns that the level of anxiety and causing you is negatively impacting your life.
No, you're absolutely right. And like I said, the only reason I've been confronting them to the degree that I have at all is that I had no commitment from law enforcement or a lawyer to actually be taken on the case.
Yeah.
Now that there is, it's like, okay, cool. I don't have to put my energy into it.
No. So this has been going on since 1999.
Yes, sir.
So you can imagine the amount of information there is and the difficulty in establishing a case like that.
Oh, fuck yeah. It's been like I've been taking little shits on the web all over it since they broke into my thing the first day. Rounding it all up's going to be a jolly chore. I try to. That's one of the things I goad them people into doing, is go search for my old shit. I said that's one of the things I'm trolling the trolls, is what we call it. and one of the things I do is goading them into finding my old shit that I can't find. They got all these bad hacker tools that I don't have. So it's like, go find it.
That can be perceived as provoking.
I understand that. And really, because to be honest, the overall impact is positive to me, because it filters my audience up front. Drives cool people to me wanting to know what's really going on, and keeps the assholes away.
Yeah. But like I was saying, I kind of get off topic and I train of thought. So like I was saying, my concerns as far as any mental health stuff aren't really big concerns at this point, because the anxiety is my only concern. But you are actively working with us on a regular basis, and you're getting free feedback from your residents.
And I got great socialization. The neighborhood loves me, man.
Yeah.
If you're not doing anything Saturday, show up at Randy and Abby's wedding reception at the hut. It's my 3rd training birthday, and the Randy Clayman's, the leader of Top Dead Center, is getting married Saturday. And I have a big party Saturday night, Saturday afternoon.
Okay, well, I appreciate that. So here's the plan. I'm working your case. I'm not leaving it alone. All right?
Cool.
Now, as soon as I come up with something that's a criminal violation that I can address, I'm more than happy to do that. But I'm struggling just because that's not information available. So that's kind of
Understood. I will focus on the people claiming to be in Tucson and in your jurisdiction, because that's what the call was about. Have you interviewed Gary Dean Purdue, aka Herb Gardner, aka Chongo? This guy's been stalking me for 5 years, man.
What is this guy's real name?
Gary Dean Purdue, Perdue. He lives in Winkleman. There's a case on file of me getting a restraining order against him for a couple of years ago. He lives in Winkleman. His alias online, he's Herb13 at that another message board site. He's Chongo, Chongo, at Kiwi Farms. He's Sam at the old Alt Gathering Rainbow Usenet board. He's Herb Gardner at Facebook.
And how do you know this guy? Just
He, there's a rainbow, I've been involved with the Rainbow family since 1982. And, my first posting for them online was in 1993. And there's a fellow by the name of Lenny Fradella, who's known as Woodstock Visions. Um,
so have you ever been here in person?
I'm telling you the story. I'm telling you how no. He met me through Leonard Fradella online when Lenny and I were squabbling online over something that happened in Austin.
So that point is the right direction of how I need to keep it.
Sure.
Like I said, there's a lot of information there. If I need to information, kind of.
Gotcha. All I know about him is what I just told you, and that's how I met him. He's been stalking me everywhere I've gone for the last since Lenny and I had this squabble maybe in 2010 or something like that. And this fuckhead's been after me, screaming at me, calling me a liar, and for everywhere. And then I went and I was zooming, and they got me to write out a story embellished about an almost had sex with a minor event. Yeah, and Gary is the one that's been putting it everywhere and screaming about it.
Yeah, and that's kind of a big thing because you can understand how that could definitely provoke a lot of emotion.
Oh yeah, especially when they go and turn it into things that it wasn't.
Yeah, so I think it's probably that.
Well, that was what gave the judge reason to give me the restraining order, because the fuckhead was threatening to post pictures of me, labeling me a child molester around the neighborhood.
Yeah. Let me ask you a question. Kind of back to the mental health thing.
You're breaking up again.
Oh, is that better?
Yeah,
Okay, I guess I gotta talk into the phone.
go ahead. Yeah, that helps. I had to take you off speaker and put the phone to my ear to hear you.
Okay, you ready?
Uh-huh.
Okay. So when you meet with your treatment team over at LPO, do you tell them about all the online stuff and all the concerns that you have about the cyberbullying and
I don't, I don't have that kind of treatment. I go in for medical problems and regular checkups and shit, and it's not something that, this is the same thing I tell them is, man, you guys are not going to live rent free in my mind. I do not even think about you unless I'm looking at your shit.
such? So, do you go to LPO and for treatment for anxiety?
No, I don't need it. I got medication. If I need the problem that we're trying to resolve, we're trying to find, this is active between me and my case manager. I talk to my case manager and my primary fairly often. And like I told you earlier, I got to get an appointment with the shrink. So I'm going to sit down with the shrink. The problem is that they moved all the behavioral health services over to St. Mary's, and it's 2 buses away for me.
Okay.
And so I don't have a talk therapist. It's the only thing that's really missing from my treatment team. But other than that, I got a lot of good friends. People are
Is
just
there anything I can do to help you get hooked up with the therapist with your treatment?
find one that'll take my insurance within walking distance would be good.
What kind of insurance? Is it access?
It's access, yeah. It's the dual complete United Healthcare. It's just El Rio doesn't have a talk therapist close enough to me for me to get that.
Have you thought about maybe going to a different agency just for that portion?
Part of my mental illness is that I'm like completely incapable of motivating myself to connect to something like that. It's just too inconvenient. It's much easier for me to keep myself sane without putting myself jumping through a lot of hoops. And this is the main thing is jumping through hoops. ODD. Are you familiar with ODD? I'm probably somebody's archetype case.
I'm not understanding you.
Oppositional defiance disorder.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
I don't take orders well. I don't follow directions. You know, silly shit is just hard for me to react to and follow. I'm an artist, man. I'm a scientist. An artist is like, hey, fuck that shit. Keep doing one more face. I got better things to do. But I do need a talk therapist. That I recognize because I've got. You see how I get rambling. Um, you know, I mean, I got a lot of shit. You know, I never had any parents that loved me. You know, they loved me. They loved me by beating me, and I ran away a lot. I was on the street by the time I was 4, playing. You know, because it was safer for me. And so I'm real strange, man. But I'm not insane. Um, but I never had anybody to. You know, I've never had probably. They they had, they sent me to a shrink when I was about 13 years old, and the shrink, I had 2, 3 sessions with him, and it's like, nah, this kid's lying to me. I don't want. It's gonna be dead by the time he's 21 or kill somebody, and I didn't. Um, and that's the last time I really had a talk therapist, and I've wanted one. And what happened when I first started come out, I had several agencies that I was connected to, and Cope had a therapist I was getting along with, but the endo was balking about starting HRT without without a letter from the doctor, from the shrink. But the therapist I had didn't have uh, an MD and couldn't write the letter, which at that time wasn't even required under the law. So they had me like do this video interview with the shrink, and we get to the point and say, okay, are you going to write the letter? She says, no, I'm going to have to give you my drugs first to stabilize you. And it's like, no. You know, the literature is saying that, you know, all these symptoms that I do show are like quickly managed with the HRT. Like within 2 weeks of taking the estrogen, I calmed right down, and was able to, like, you know, be in the presence of aggressive people without starting to quiver. And she said no, and so I walked out on that, and it took a while to convince. You know, we had a counselor. They had, you know, before they moved all the behavioral health services, there was a counselor that I was talking to. He wasn't a very good therapist, but we were getting along. But then they moved the behavioral health services out of the Broadway location, and so I was left with just the primary over there and the shrink, who wasn't going to do anything but write prescriptions. He's not a therapist. He's a pill pusher. So that's where we're at. As you know, I need a therapist within walking distance, so I don't have to, you know, jump too many hoops through to get to.
So, okay, so let me make sure I'm understanding. So you're okay if I help you out with better therapy or a therapist?
I need a therapist within range of, you know, I don't like riding buses from very far, and I won't ride a transfer bus either to get to a therapist every week. I'd rather just be able to walk, like, down the street.
So you don't care if it's different ages.
Oh, hell no. As long as it's downtown and I can walk to it, cool.
Okay. Well, let me, if you're okay with me helping out with that.
Oh no, that's great, because that's where my case manager's falling down. I need to talk therapist. I'm 62 years old and I've never had anybody to dump on, really.
Okay. Let me make some phone calls and see what I can work out.
Super.
Chances are, I have worked with people last contact. So chances are, what I might need to do is I might need to get.
Oh, you're gonna need a release.
Okay.
You're gonna need a release to talk to anybody about me.
Well, no, I'm not asking for information. I mean, okay. So not this, and I don't need any of that information. That's your private information. I don't need any of that.
Yeah, but just to even ask about me, you need my permission.
Okay, I'm not asking that.
I thought you were talking about talking to somebody to get a therapist together for me.
Yeah, I am. I am pretty explaining what I can do. Just so that we're on the same page, I think you understand what I can do. So what I can do is, I'll make some phone
I'm sorry, I that didn't come in clear.
What I might need to do is have some clinicians meet with you so that we can actually coordinate, they can coordinate the details with you, and I can send them to you, or I can go with them if that's the case.
What, a house call?
Yeah, we can do that, or
That's
figure out what
cool.
we're doing.
You know, that's cool. I don't care. And you're not, you know, they've lied to me in the past about this. Dial and Winsky. And some of the mobile crisis civilians have done it too. They lied to me to get me to come out of the house one time to grab me and drag me off to CRC.
Yeah, I'm not gonna do that. I don't want to drag you off anywhere. You're voluntarily, telling me that, hey, I need this, and I'm saying, hey, only I can help you.
Yeah, I just want to make it real clear that I'm 62 years old and I've never hurt anybody worse than I needed to get away from them, and I've never had any suicidal ideations at all.
Yeah, I don't think you're an dangerous yourself. Not in a suicidal sense.
Well, I do some foolhardy things that could get me killed, but I'm not so silly so much anymore.
Exactly. I think there's some bad decisions sometimes that might put you in bad places.
Well, yeah. Hell yeah. You know, I can't afford to buy my way out of some shit.
Yeah, I think that's total life. So let me make some phone calls. Ian, are you available tomorrow? If I
Frankly, let's not set anything up until Monday. This, you know, my birthday and the wedding coming up.
When's your birthday?
Well, my transgender birthday is April Fool's Day.
Oh, cool. Happy birthday.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, and Randy and Abby are getting married, and I got another. I'm doing some work for some people this week that I got to get at, and let's. I got more breathing space next week. Let's plan on any time next week.
Anytime next week?
Yeah.
Okay, great. Let me figure some stuff out, and I will call you.
Yeah. If you guys wanna bring somebody into the studio anytime next week, you want to come have a meeting here, that's cool.
Okay, let me make some phone calls and figure out the best way to go about doing it, and then I will let you know by tomorrow what the game plan is.
Super.
All right.
Super.
And then as far as your ongoing case, we've got a plan for that.
Right.
And I'm going to be your point of contact for anything that comes up.
And we're totally like, if you're not responding, you know, if something comes up, I call your cell. I'm not going to call you unless I want you to call me right back.
Yeah. So
I'll make that real clear, and you know, I'll make it real clear what's going on and when I need you to call me back. And I'm gonna give you, you know, if it's a 15-minute call, man, I'll call it. If you haven't called back in 15 minutes, I'm gonna call 911 and tell them that this is the arrangement.
well, if you feel like your life is in danger or there's something actively going on, I can't tell you not to call 911.
Right. So that's okay. So that's what I'll tell them. I'll make sure that I tell them that you didn't tell me to call 911 if you didn't call me back in 15 minutes. That you said you can't tell me not to.
Okay.
Well, you know, that's the cover your ass kind of shit.
No, I don't care what you tell them, to be honest with you.
Well, no, that's where it's got to be with us on this. That's been the problem straight along. That's why there were so many 911 calls in the beginning before they got any lines of communication. It all laid down because shit happens. And these guys, I have no idea if these guys are really the big time criminals that they claim they are, but I doubt it. But there are certainly real threats happening to me on occasion, you know, or they're, you know, they're looking to meet under circumstances that I don't want anything to do with.
Yeah, if you think there's a legitimate threat for your safety, I think you should call it 911.
Cool.
Now, keep in mind that,
No, I understand completely. No contact. I told you. The only reason I've been contacting them is because I got no commitment from any law enforcement or lawyer to deal with it. Now that I do, I'm under your control.
hey, Tommy, that's not what I'm getting at.
Oh,
That's not what I'm getting at.
okay.
I'm saying, keep in mind, you may not get a response depending on the call because there's a lot of calls that get handled differently. So it may be a callback type report and things like that.
Well, if I'm calling your cell phone, you're the one that answers it, aren't you?
You don't have my cell phone yet, my dad's like.
Oh.
So as soon as I get your messages, I get messages from the office, I call you back.
Oh, so you're not even, nobody's even looking at those messages unless you're in the office.
But as soon as I get the office, I check them.
Right, but you might be out of the office for days at a time.
Occasionally, I'm typically here Monday through
Uh-huh.
And occasionally I'm out of town. Like last week I was out of town.
Right. Yeah, well, usually my shit, you know, the way my life works, the shit usually happens between Thursday and Monday.
Yeah. And there's another thing you can do. You can always, when you call in, when you can just ask to have them get positive exposure.
Well, I
But
usually don't call 911 for that, but that's, you know, I call 6813 for that. But I get no, I know I don't get enough, I don't get response usually. You know, it's usually a few days like this.
yeah, well, it depends. You're
Huh?
trying to have kind of a,
Well, you know, we'll lay the lines down. You know, Doggett, I'll call Doggett and have a little chit chat with him about where we're at, and you know, I'm following y'all's orders at this point on this.
okay, well, I will, as soon as I get your voice messages,
Uh
you
huh.
there?
Yeah.
Okay, so just know that I get your voicemails, and as soon as I get them, I will call you back as soon as I can. Just what I was trying to explain is the nature of my job. I have a lot of cases that I handle,
That's
and
cool, and this is low priority because nobody's getting hurt or threatened to get hurt. I understand.
well, I am just saying, depending on the situation today, it may take me a little while to get back to you, depending on what I have. I have
Not a
to understand.
problem. Not a problem. And like you said, it's gonna chill considerably. And only the people that are actually being paid to do this are gonna keep it up.
Okay, well, good.
Because see, that's the main complaint that I have is that there are corporate elements behind the people hating on me.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. Well, I think we have a plan.
Cool.
All right. So I will touch base with you tomorrow and let you know what our plan is as far as me trying to set you up with different services, and we have a plan for as far as the place stuff.
Great, great, great.
Sound like a deal?
That's a great deal. I'm very happy to have you called back. But you know, the next time we meet in public, it's streaming, baby. Whether you like it or not. Wear a mask or something.
Now, why would you go and do that?
Ah, because that's what I am. I'm the kook in charge of the Real Things Artisans Cooperative, which is like the resistance.
So I think that these type of relationships need to be kind of a give and take.
Well, I know, but you gotta give me something there, cause that's me, cause you know that's what I'm doing. I'm the resistance and I'm doing it to promote uh, the community policing mentality, not to try and like expose your bullshit. I tell you, go watch. I have one where we were just chatting and somebody stole something from me right in front of her, and two monkeys, knowing that the law was bullshit, jumping through hoops for the sake of the law. You gotta let me film if we meet in public, please. The policeman is my friend. You're not my enemy, man. The people trying to tear the system apart are my enemy.
And you have every right to film all you want, but out of mutual respect, we talked about that before.
Right, I know. You don't want your face out there so it could be recognized. So I keep the camera aimed low.
Oh man,
Or keep you completely off the camera.
oh, okay.
That's not a problem, but when we're together, you gotta let me have the camera running. I mean, they're claiming that idiot actually showed up while we were standing there.
Yeah, that didn't happen.
Well, I know, but he came up with someone was there. One of the people was there because somebody come up with a receipt, which should give you evidence that there's a lot more to it than just a bunch of fucking trolls. Somebody's trying to hurt me. I'm paying people to do it.
Yeah. All right. Well, we'll talk about that a little bit more later.
Great. Thank you, Matthew. Happy day, man.
You too.
Does it bother you for me to use your first name?
No, I don't care.
Do you prefer Matt or Matthew?
I typically go by Matt. That's what my friends call me.
Well, my nephew goes by Matthew, so I'll call you Matt. Happy day, man. Thank you.
All right.
God bless. Bye-bye. Well, there you have it. The Matt Golden rule. Tom Madeira, aka Bucketeer. I don't know if you are or are not the bucket at A&B. I don't know if Kevin Hoffman exists or not. But I do know that Eddie Cloray, aka Max Power, exists. I do know that Joe DiBiase, aka Bird of Prey, exists. I do know that a number of these people actually exist. It's clear that somebody's being paid to fuck with me. Somebody's spending money to fuck with me. And I'm getting nothing from it. That's a civil tort and a criminal act. It's criminal. There's criminal and civil shit coming at these people. Now, the only reason I've been making contact with them is, as I said repeatedly in there, is that I had nobody else on my side except other victims. So, there's my girly butter muscles. Namaste, motherfuckers. Happy day, everybody. Thanks for watching.